Welcome to this demonstration of ZipMonk's invoice solution. Let's log in as the user. Once you've logged in as the user, this is the invoice dashboard. Here the user can see the statuses of various invoices that have been submitted. You can see here, verified means that this invoice has been verified and it's ready for payment. Verification means that it is still in the approval process. Right. Let's quickly create a new invoice. I click on the create invoice button. Here you can see some of the details that are already updated for this user will show up, like the requester name, the vendor code, GST details, etc. Let's create a new invoice. If there is a requirement for any additional invoice types, that can be added here. Right now we'll just create an invoice for printing and stationery. We can update the PO number. Similarly, we update the invoice number and then we update the amount. Now if this invoice has GST details associated with it, we can go ahead and add the GST details here. We can simply update the percentage. The system will recalculate the GST amount and the total will get recalculated accordingly, including the GST amount. You can also add an invoice that is sent by the user, like this, and we can also update any comments or description for this invoice. Once you have updated all this information, you can save this invoice. And once you save the invoice, you will have the invoice summary now getting updated with the invoice type and the amount. And you will also have a few options that are available now. If you want to go back and edit this invoice, you can click on this edit button. If you want to delete this invoice, you can click on the delete button. And if you want to download and see what is the invoice that you have attached, you click on this button. The file gets downloaded and you can simply click on the file and see what is the invoice that you have attached. Right? So once you are satisfied with all this, you can go ahead and submit this invoice. Once you submit this invoice, it will move on to the verification process. So let's click on submit now. This is the invoice we just created and it is in the verification process. You can click and download the PDF version of this invoice. You can check for all the information that's available so that if you want to take a printout can be taken. Let us now log in as the invoice verifier and approve this invoice. This is the invoice verifier's dashboard. As you can see, there are additional accesses depending on what is required from this user. Let's quickly move on to the invoice verifier screen. Now, like the user dashboard, this is the verifier dashboard. Here it has various invoices and the default setting here is invoices that are ready for pending. But if the verifier wants to see invoices that he has verified already, you can click on the verified and this will show all the verified invoices. Let's quickly check the invoice that we just submitted, which is in the pending status. This is the invoice we just submitted. We click open the invoice and as a verifier you can check for all the details, the requester details, the invoice details, the invoice summary, and also if there are any comments or anything that are associated with this, in the description comments. And if the invoice verifier wants to preview the bill that's attached, you can click on bill preview and it will show the bill. Similarly, if you want to download the bill, it's also available here in the download option. You click on this and it downloads the invoice that was submitted. Now, as a verifier, you can either send this invoice back to the user if you think something submitted is not as per the policy, or if it is pending additional details, or if you think everything with this invoice is fine and you want to go ahead and verify, you can update your comments. And you can click on verify. Let's quickly check on that. Right, so that invoice has been verified. We will have to go back to all the verified invoices to check. The invoice is available here. We click open this invoice, and now if you see, the system has added an additional line by the verifier and with the comments, right? So this invoice has been verified by this verifier. So once this invoice is verified, it's ready for payment. Thank you.